in this street.
Yo. What's up, man? Y'all know it is your boy Bo here. And it's my bad, man. I gotta remember to turn that intro off because I know you guys think it's gonna be like the Three Kings Boxing show. But as always though, man, go to Three Kings Boxing for the latest and greatest what's going on in the sport of boxing. Shout out to everybody over there at Three Kings that's doing all the work behind the scenes. You know, Mike Wilson, Corey, J.L. Davis, Lloyd Zoe, myself, Kari, and then HNIC 2K himself. Oh, yeah, and I can't forget my man Red. So, all right, man, let's kick this off. Let's go and get started because as I told y'all before, I'm not holding back no more. I'm going to be straight disrespectful because that seems to be what works. That seems to be what gets these guys' attention when you talk. First, let's start off with the NFL, man, the Baltimore Ravens. Derrick Henry did it again. Derrick Henry did it again, y'all. He hurt the team again. He hurt him. He hurt him bad. So the Baltimore Ravens fell to the Detroit Lions. And mind you, Lions don't have Golf with them. Golf is injured. Golf is injured. So they lost 38-30. But there was a point in the fourth quarter when Baltimore was marching down the field and Derrick Henry fumbled the ball. He is now averaging one fumble per game. Think about that for a second. He is averaging one fumble per game. That is crazy. It truly, really is. That's crazy. He's averaging one fumble per game. So he did it again. He hurt him again. And I was happy when they brought Derrick Henry over. But now, I'm not going to lay it all on Derrick Henry because Baltimore's defense couldn't seem to get a stop to save their goddamn lives. They couldn't seem to put the clamps on somebody to save their lives. Like, Jesus Christ. But that fumble by Derrick Henry was big, especially in the fourth quarter. Listen, you bring Derrick Henry over, and I remember when they brought him over, I was happy about Derrick Henry coming over. I thought this would help Lamar Jackson. I thought this would take pressure off Lamar for trying to do everything. But Derrick Henry got to do better, man. Seriously, you got to do better. You got to protect number one. And it's not just Derrick Henry, man. There's been a lot of dudes fumbling the ball this year. Like, have motherfuckers forgot how you're supposed to protect the ball? You got to have a feel for the game. Like, when you're running, you got to have a feel that somebody's behind you and cuff that ball tight to your chest. Like, I'm seeing all these guys fumbling. I'm thinking to myself, I mean, have these guys been taught how to carry the ball? Have these guys been taught how to have a feel for the game? How to protect the football? Like, what's going on with these guys and these hands being so, I don't want to say the word soft, but unreliable. Right? We had the Texans. The Texans had, I think it was Nico Harris. He fumbled the ball, catches the ball, turn. He's going down on the drive. He catches the ball, turn, makes a good spin move, and fumbles the ball. Then you had one game, I forget who it was. It might have been Green Bay. Well, the guy is running. He breaks away, makes a run down the field. He's running toward the goal line, and the dude come up behind him and took the ball from him. Literally come up behind him and took the ball from him. So I don't know what the hell is going on, but somebody got to start teaching these boys about how to protect their football. This shit is crazy. It really truly is, man. This shit is crazy that I'm seeing all these fumbles. It was crazy when you had all these guys getting hurt. That's another thing. So I'm like, well, okay, what are y'all working on in training camp? Are y'all working on protecting the football in training camp? Because if you're not working on protecting the football in training camp, then maybe you should go back to that, right? Go back to watching film on how when you carry the ball, you can't willy-nilly carry the ball. You got to cuff that ball tight in between the elbow and the forearm, tight to your chest. Sometimes you can put both hands around it. But all these people fumbling the football in key moments of the game is getting out of fucking control. It truly, truly, really is. It seems like every freaking week we're seeing multiple games where dudes are fumbling footballs and causing turnovers. It seems like every single week we hear something about a miraculous play that's being made that regards the ball being fumbled or punched out or knocked out. All right? Everybody out there that's carrying the ball, get a clue. That's what they're going for. They've always been punching. The defense has always tried to punch the ball or take the ball away from the ball carrier. Hence why you have to do a better job at protecting the goddamn football. Because in key moments of the game, you have to be relied upon. And then like nothing takes the air out of a momentum than a fumble. Nothing. Nothing takes the air out of a momentum for a team than a takeaway, than a turnover. Nothing. But when you get to a point, like I said, Derrick Henry has fumbled every game this year. And it's always been in key moments. He did it last week. He's always fumbled in key moments. And yesterday it was like, oh, come on, man. It's like, come on, man. You're not even past the line of scrimmage. You definitely supposed to be protecting the ball in that situation. You're definitely supposed to have a feel for the game in that situation. Come on, man. So, like I said, man, all these guys fumbling the ball, all these ball carriers that, out here letting the ball be taken from them. I mean, shit just got to, I don't know what to say. I truly, truly, really don't. And it's like I said, it's always in key moments, and that's the frustrating part. This is always happening in key goddamn moments. So let's start protecting the football out there, fellas, all right? You know what I'm saying? Like, all this week in camp, work on protecting the goddamn football. You know what I'm saying? During this week in camp, all you ball carriers, wide receivers, running backs, work on tucking the football in, protecting the ball. Maybe even slow down and stop trying to be so eager to catch and run down the field that you're not paying attention to what's going on around you. Yeah, that's Bo. What's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, this is me, man. So yeah, man, protect the goddamn football, fellas. Let's do that, please. Please. This shit is killing me when I'm hearing about guys fumbling the ball. I'm like, what? And it's like, and matter of fact, this year alone, matter of fact, not even this year, I'll say this week, fuck it. This week alone, you can do a highlight clip reel of balls being fumbled, and you can do probably 15 minutes of it. That's how much guys have been fumbling the ball. So come on, man, do better, fellas. Do much, much, much better. Let's go back to the days where protecting the football was a priority and not an afterthought. Let's stop the goddamn fumbles. When you're being paid all that money to be a reliable, you cannot, especially in key moments, you cannot cough that ball up. Drop balls is another one of them. We got a lot of drop balls out here. But these fumbles, you gotta do something about that. But all right, now let's move into the main topic. And the main topic today is Ryan Garcia. Right? Now here's the thing. I do not care who this defends. I do not care. who gets mad. But what needs to be said sometimes has to be said. And oftentimes, if not, it has to be said harshly for the message to get across and be clear. So Ryan Garcia gave an interview where he had the top 4 guys he wanted to fight, right? And he gave a list of guys that, he wanted to fight. And I can't even remember the name. I know Teofimo Lopez was one of them. Shakur Stevens was one of them, whatever. I think Javante Davis, and it was somebody else. But the names missing on that list was Devin Haney and Rolando Romero. Here is the problem I have with that. Why is Ryan Garcia being treated still like he's some kind of star? Ryan Garcia has proven he can't handle pressure. Why are we looking at a guy that from a mental standpoint is inconsistent and can't handle things? Why are we looking at him giving credence to any goddamn thing he says? No one should be interested in shit Ryan Garcia says until he proves himself not to be a fraud. And yes, I'm calling the man a fraud. And here's why I'm calling him a fraud. Because in the big moments, Ryan Garcia has either come up short or he was found a cheater. Let me say this again. In big moments, Ryan Garcia has come up short and has been found himself to be a cheater. He quit against Tank Davis, point blank, period. He quit. I don't want to hear that Tank drained him. I don't want to hear that shit about, you injured the rib. I don't want to hear that because when you step in that ring, there are no motherfucking excuses. So why is someone like Ryan Garcia who cheats can be celebrated, but the world will attack someone like Shakur Stevenson, right? Because of his performance against Edwin De Los Santos. So we'll jump on Devin Haney for his performance against Jose Ramirez, but we're going to close our mouths about what we saw Ryan Garcia do when it came to him fighting Rolando Romero. We just going to act like that shit didn't happen, right? We'll frown at Boots Ennis being a email champion. We'll frown on that. We'll make fun of that. We'll talk shit about him being email champion. Oh, but we'll celebrate the fact that Ryan Garcia ain't even been a fucking champion. He ain't even been a fucking champion. So why is a dude who hasn't been a champion, who hasn't fought for a belt, who has shown that pressure will get them to the point where, like it or not, he did cheat. He did, like it or not. That boy did cheat. That's something everybody's going to have to accept. He did cheat. He did test positive for a performance-enhancing drug, which, in my opinion, I think they used the estrogen because they knew they were going to test positive for something different. Hence why I got the photos up there. Look how Ryan Garcia was acting when he fought Devin Haney. He was road raging. He was roid raging. I'm sorry, not roid. He was roid raging. Now, look at his behavior when he lost to Rolando Romero. He's up there crying. Why are we supporting a dude like this? Fighters are supposed to be mentally tough. That's the purpose of them being a fucking fighter. They are supposed to be able to go above and do what no one else can do. They're supposed to have a mentality that most of us cannot have and do not have. That is the purpose of them being a fighter. They toughen themselves up and prepare themselves for moments like that. Right? So why are we behind a guy who is showing us he can't handle that pressure? Hold on, Stank Davis and Devin Haney chose to fight Ryan over each other because Ryan is popping. They felt he was a cherry pick rather than fight each other. Actually, no, that's not true. I don't care about the name calling. Right? Actually, that's not true because there was once upon a time when Ryan Garcia was considered a top lightweight. There was a time when he was considered a top guy. Hell, there was even a time Ryan Garcia put himself in a position to fight for a title when he got in there against Luke Campbell. Right? So I don't care about them. I don't care about the reason behind why they chose to fight him. My problem is Ryan Garcia is a manufactured fighter. His connections with Canelo Alvarez, his social media popularity, his connection with Golden Boy is the reason why this guy still remains relevant. Because at the end of the day, when you look at his accomplishments, Ryan Garcia has done nothing at all, period, to justify us still talking about him like he's one of the top guys in boxing. And that's just the truth of some shit, right? Devin Haney wanted to fight Tank Davis. Tank Davis did fight Ryan. Tank Davis has always taken the easy route. So Tank fighting Ryan Garcia because he thought he was easy, I don't have no problem with that. I don't have no problem with that at all, period. I'm not going to argue that because I believe, yeah, that's why you fought Ryan. Because fighting Shakur Stevenson, fighting Devin Haney would have been hard for him. So he chose to fight the dude that he thought was the weakest. But at the end of the day, the excuses this guy makes, the reason why this guy can't handle the pressure, and the excuses this guy makes are incredible to me. We got an emotional person in the room, y'all. We got an emotional person in the room, y'all. He chose to fight Ryan rather than Tio. No, that's not true. Teofimo Lopez did not want to fight Devin Haney. Hell, even after Haney lost to Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez still didn't want to fight Devin Haney. So that's not true at all, period. He was trying to fight Teofimo. Teofimo wasn't trying to fight him. And Shakur actually turned down the Devin Haney fight because he said he didn't like something about he didn't like the money he was getting. So he turned down the fight for Undisputed. And that's just the truth. We got an emotional guy in the room, y'all. But anyway, like I'm saying, right? Because ain't nobody blaming Ryan. I'm pointing out the fact that this dude, from a mental standpoint, don't have what it takes. That's what I'm saying. Who blamed Ryan? Did I say Ryan's at fault? I never said Ryan's at fault for anything. I'm saying, why are we celebrating the guy who doesn't have what it takes? So let me just say this right here, because this is what I firmly believe. When you support someone that shows that they're mentally weak, to me, that gives me an insight of who you are. So whoever you are, dude, if you're supporting a guy who cries after he loses a fight and don't show up, right? Who quits and then make excuses after he loses a fight, right? Because mind you, Ryan called for that fight with Gervonta Davis. Ryan had a choice. Ryan could have fought Devin Haney because remember, he was the interim champion and he could have fought Devin Haney, but he chose to fight who? He chose to fight Gervonta Davis. And then he signed the contract and then complained about all these things and restrictions that Gervonta Davis put on him. When guess what? Don't sign the contract then. That's all you had to do was not sign the contract. You ain't got to sign the contract, bro. You ain't got to sign the contract, bro. But don't bitch him on and complain about it after you sign that contract. No, I don't hear that. You signed the contract. That's what you got to do. How is facts emotional? Fact, because you're not stating facts. That's why. Those fighters chose to fight Ryan. Stank and Hanky were champions, and they picked non-champion Ryan to beat because he sells, and they felt he was easy. Actually, you can't say Ryan sells because Ryan has not done a pay-per-view since fighting Tank Davis, right? And number one, when you make big fights is what sells. Some fighters can sell on their own. I don't know how much Ryan sold on his own, but I know when he fought Tank Davis, he sold. But ever since that Tank Davis, he hasn't sold. But facts, but if you were stating facts, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But you're saying that they ducked other fighters, no. Because again, Devin Haney tried to fight Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez didn't want that fight. So that's not a fact. That is your emotion saying that. That's exactly what that is. That is your emotion saying that. Because at the end of the day, like I just said, why are we looking at a dude celebrating a guy who cannot even accept his own losses? If you talk to Ryan right now, Ryan will say, hey, man, I did not lose to Gervonta Davis because of all these things that he implemented. Yeah, but you signed that contract, though, bro. And then I'm sitting there talking about some his mental makeup. Ryan Garcia don't have that mental makeup. He just doesn't. A dude that cries after he lost, you laid that motherfucking egg, dog. You laid that motherfucking egg, bruh. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Go to threekingsboxing.com. We got several articles where Devin Haney tried to fight Teofimo Lopez. Hell, there's videos out there where Devin and Teofimo was getting into arguments on camera when they were both on the zone. They were standing in front of Sergio Morta and Chris Mannix, and they was arguing. And Dev was like, "Well, let's fight." There's videos out there of where Teofimo Lopez is saying when he told his father when Dev's dad was calling trying to make a fight. There's videos out there. This was long before he fought Ryan Garcia, bro. Long before he fought Ryan Garcia, bro. There's videos out there, dog. Ryan has sold pay-per-view since Tank. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. What pay-per-view he sold since Tank? What pay-per-view? Oh, yeah, him and Devin Haney, the one that tanked. The pay-per-view, him and Devin Haney, yeah, that tanked. That tanked, by the way, bro. It did. It tanked. Like I said, bro, you're getting emotional, homie. And I get it. And that just gives me, see, when people do what this guy's doing, that gives me insight on who you really are. Because at the end of the day, I'm talking about this guy's mental makeup and why we're celebrating him like he's a top fighter when he's proven to us time and time again that on that big stage, he cracks. He lost against Rolando Romero. That was a layup. He was given a layup when it came to Rolando Romero. I just told you, go to threekingsboxing.com. We got plenty of articles out there. I even told you there's video out there where these two guys was talking. When Devin Haney and his dad was trying to fight Teofimo Lopez. Hell, there's plenty of shit out there, dog. So again, at the end of the day, that's not even the topic though. The topic is a dude which you seem to be infatuated with, homeboy. You seem to be infatuated with this guy because you're getting upset about shit that I'm saying about a guy who has shown he won't show up in the big moments. You had a layup fight against Rolando Romero. You did test positive against Devin Haney, and then you quit against Gervonta Davis. Yes, I am. I am a journalist. ThreeKingsBoxing.com, bro. That's why I know. ThreeKingsBoxing.com, fam. That's why I know. You got the wrong one here, Playboy. Got the real wrong one here. This is what I do. Like this right here, really? I don't even really do this right here. This right here is like spiraling for me. This one, okay, I ain't got nothing to do. Maybe I'll go live. Writing is what I do, bro. So yes, there are plenty of articles out there where Devin Haney, I just told you, threekingsboxing.com. I just told you that. I just told you. We are in accredited boxing. Yes, we are. So I just told you there are plenty of stuff out there. But again, I'm talking about a guy and Ryan Garcia. See, you want to get off on something else. See, this is what guys do when they like somebody. They want you to get off on something else, another topic. But at the end of the day, we're talking about Ryan Garcia, dude. Ryan Garcia did quit against Gervonta Tank Davis. That's a fact. Ryan Garcia did test positive against Devin Haney. That's a fact. And then Ryan Garcia did go in there and laid an egg against Rolando Romero. So until this dude proves that, you know what, you can handle the big moment, like you need to rematch Devin Haney. You need to rematch Rolando Romero. You should not be talking about no Teofimo Lopez. He should not be talking about no Shakur Stevenson. He should not be talking about nobody other than those two dudes, or at very least one of them. He shouldn't be talking about nobody. We should not be looking at Ryan Garcia like, hey, man, he's still a top guy in the sport. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're no longer a top guy in the sport when you wet the bed like that. You're just not. You just didn't. This dude could have got up. He didn't get up. He said, fuck it, man. I got injured. Fuck it. Tank did this. Tank did that. No, bro. No. Nobody should be looking at him like that. So at the end of the day, Ryan Garcia should not be viewed as the top dude anymore until he proves, like I said, he needs to rematch Rolando Romero. He needs to rematch Devin Haney. This dude has proven to us from a mental standpoint, he's not that guy and he does not have it. Why? Because, like I said, he cheated against Devin Haney. He quit against Devontae Tank Davis. He could have got up and finished that fight. Even if you want to say, oh, well, you got hit in the rib. No, I'm not trying to hear that, bro. I'm not trying to hear that because you got in that ring. Once you get in that ring, once you get in that ring, you can't be making up no damn excuses. I don't want to hear about what Tank did in that contract. I don't want to hear about none of that shit. If you signed that contract, then you got to fucking fight. And once you fight, it is what it is. Now, him and Shakur Stevenson is going back and forth. If I'm Shakur Stevenson, I'm not wasting my time on Ryan Garcia. I got bigger fish to fry. Because as it stands right now, dude, you're nobody. That's exactly what I would tell him. You know, Shakur went back and forth with him. But the thing I would tell him is, as of right now, dude, yeah. So at the end of the day, if I'm Shakur Stevenson, I wouldn't even be entertaining Ryan Garcia. Like, no, hey, dog, you got work over there you got to take care of. You got to take care of that Rolando Romero loss you just had. You got work over there you got to take care of. See, this dude actually said what he don't something he actually said in the interview with I think it was Ring Magazine. He actually said something about how, you know, guys are being maneuvered into title shots. That's why he don't put a lot of stock in fighting for title. I'm sorry. Weren't you the same guy that was being maneuvered because of your connection to Canelo Alvarez? Weren't you the same guy that was being maneuvered because of your connection to Golden Boy Promotions? So now all of a sudden you're being maneuvered? Man, please. This is crazy. It's crazy. Dude tests positive, he gets celebrated, but yet we'll criticize Shakur Stevens' performance. But when Ryan Garcia lays an egg, we're gonna, we got guys like this dude right here in the room defending this dude. Ryan Garcia goes out there and wets the bed. We got guys like this dude in here defending him. You know what I'm saying? Shit is crazy to me. Actually, no, bro. Because again, if you pay attention, and I've said this before on several occasions, I said I Ryan Garcia taking steroids isn't the reason why Devin Haney lost. Devin Haney lost because of his lack of ring IQ of not getting out of the goddamn way of the left hook. I've done a video where I said Devin Haney cannot call someone a one trick pony and then don't take away the dude trick. See? So you sound hurt because I'm talking about your guy. That's what you sound. I mean, okay, hold on. Hey, man, let me ask you a question. Are you in bed with Ryan Garcia right now? You must be. Are you in bed with Ryan Garcia? You must be laying in bed with Ryan Garcia and heard, you know what I'm saying, heard the ding go off, you know what I'm saying, took your mouth off his balls and was like, oh shit, somebody talking about my guy. Like this is who y'all are now, bro. Like for real, dog. What dude? What are you what facts are you stating? What facts are you stating? Because I just sat here and said that this is a guy who in the big moments had failed. And he did. In his big fight against Tank, he failed. He took steroids against Devin Haney. That's a fact. He did. And then he laid it in against Rolando Romero. He did. He sure did. Dude, popular does not mean that you have the mental makeup to be a fighter. That's the part I'm telling you. Popular does not mean you have the mental makeup to be a fighter. I'm talking about a guy's mental makeup, which he has proven he does not have that mental makeup in big moments for him to justify why people are still viewing him as a top fighter. That is a fact. Ryan did take steroids. He tested positive, my nigga. I said performance enhancing. First off, I said performance enhancing. Then I said, if you look at him with the beard, how he behaved with Devin Haney, I believe that's roid rage. I believe that one he popped for was a masking agent because they knew they was going to test positive. Like, go back to the beginning and listen to all of it, dog. I'm not too bright, but you the one ball gurgling on the dude because your butt hurt that I'm going in on your boy. And I knew this was happening. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, dog. Like, I don't defend nobody. I really don't. I don't care. First of all, I don't have a favorite fighter, so that's why. I don't defend none of these guys. I go after all of them. When Devin Haney wet the bed, I went after Devin Haney for wetting the bed against Jose Ramirez. I've wrote several articles about Gervonta Davis and his poor ass resume because this dude ain't trying to fight no top fighters at lightweight. And I went after Shakur Stevenson for turning down the fight against Devin Haney for the undisputed lightweight crown. I've done that. I've done that. See? But that's what you do when you're not biased. That's what you do when you ain't bold gurgling a fighter. That's what you do when you can call it straight down the middle. I have no problem calling it straight down the middle. None at all, period. And what I'm seeing right now from this dude in my chat is what's wrong with the fucking sport of boxing. Motherfuckers is quick to defend these guys that do not deserve that type of defense. For no reason. For no reason. None of these fighters deserve this type of defense. And I'm just being honest with y'all. None of them do. That's why they're fighters. That's why they're fighters. It doesn't matter what trace amount he had, dog. He took something illegal he wasn't supposed to take. Boom. There you go. Bottom line. That does not matter. That's like if a cop pulls you over and the speed limit is 30 and you're doing 32. You're still going over the speed limit, right? All right. You see how easy it is when you ain't biased? If a cop pulls you over and the speed limit is 30 miles an hour and you're doing 32, well, you're still going over the speed limit. So it don't matter what trace amount he had, it was still illegal. That's the part I'm trying to get y'all to understand. I initially said it was a performance enhancing drug. Then I said I believe Ryan Garcia was doing roid rage because I believe that he knew he was going to fail for taking a steroid. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, my bad, y'all. So anyway, yeah. So I said I believe he was taking steroids, and they knew they would fail for that, so they used that oxygen thing as a masking agent. So that would be the thing that would show up instead of what he was really taking, because his behavior during the Devin Haney promotion was roid rage. That's what I said, and I stand on that one. I'll stand on that one because look at his behavior with Devin Haney and look at his behavior when he came to Rolly Romero. No, the amount does not matter. It's illegal is illegal. The amount does not matter, bro. It really doesn't. Illegal is illegal, right? Because here's why they don't say, or depending, like there's nowhere where it's written where they say depending on the trace amount, we're depending on your suspension. No, you get caught, you get caught. You know what I'm saying? You get caught, you get caught. But at the end of the day, my point still remains is he took something he was not supposed to take against Devin Haney. Why? Because the pressure of winning that fight got to this dude. He knew if I lose this fight, I'll no longer be viewed as a top fighter, and I'll be viewed as a fighter that can't perform on the big stage in the big moments. Regardless of what anybody says, that's my belief. Because if Devin Haney would have went in there and did to Ryan Garcia what he did to Regis Prograis, Ryan Garcia is done. And I've said that before. But I will reiterate for those who like to suck on Ryan Garcia's balls. The only reason why I never came out and supported Devin Haney's theory on Ryan Garcia, the only reason I never came out in support of Devin Haney because of the steroid failure was the fact that you cannot say somebody is a one-trick pony and then don't take away the goddamn trick. That's why I've never came out in support of Devin Haney when it came to Ryan Garcia, because you called that man a one-trick pony and you didn't take away the man's trick. I don't want to hear it from you. And I've stood on that. No, dog, he didn't test because of contamination. It's called cycling, bro. Like, come on, man. Stop it. It's called cycling, bro. You can have small trace amounts if you're cycling. That contamination is bullshit. That contamination stuff is bullshit. That's an excuse that fighters use when they test positive. That's like motherfuckers saying, oh, contaminated meat from taco meat. Yeah, well, guess what, man? I've ate a lot of tacos in Mexico. I ain't never popped positive for any goddamn thing. So that's bullshit, dog. You know what you're putting in your body, man. I refuse to sit here and believe these guys don't know what they put. They know what they're putting in their body, and I'll go on record and say, hey, man, I believe everybody's on something. All these fighters are on something. Seriously, I really believe that. I really believe all these fighters are on something. It's just a matter of who you have that's helping you take this stuff and what you opt for. But that trace amount level shit is bullshit to me because, as I've said before, where the enhancement helps you is in training camp because it helps you run that extra mile. It helps you go that extra. That's what helps you is in training camp. But at the end of the day, if it's illegal, it's illegal. Right? So if it's illegal, it's illegal. I don't care how many tests he passed leading up to it. If you are cycling, bro, if you are cycling, sometimes if you are cycling, you can cycle properly and correctly to where you don't pop. But once you pop, it is what it is. All that. Well, I haven't failed a test for months. Okay, that's because guess what? While you were cycling and while you were doing what you were doing, your shit just never showed up. But now it has showed up. It's as simple as that. That's as simple as that. So now you fall under the lure of, okay, well, how long have you been taking it? Because just because you popped here, it does not mean you wasn't doing nothing illegal all the whole time. That's not what it means. And that's just what it is. But again, the mental makeup of this dude is weak to me. And I will stand on business on that. Speaking as someone who used to be a fighter, speaking as someone who also is a boxing journalist, I will stand on business on this. A lot of these fighters, it's not just Ryan, but a lot of them, but Ryan Garcia, in my honest opinion, has proven this dude is a fraud. Because in the big moments of the fight, now I will give him credit for what he did against Luke Campbell. I give him credit for that. He got up off the canvas and went on. But Ryan Garcia is not built from a mental standpoint to be a fighter that we should be praising, that you should be defending like this. See, when I hear this, when I hear people say what you're saying, that just tells me you're the same thing as Ryan Garcia. You're a weak-minded beta male. That's what you are. When I hear people defend fighters like this, oh, okay, well, you just like that fight. You're weak-minded beta male. Right? So, see what I'm saying? This is what's wrong with boxing is when guys are being defended like this, instead of, hey, you know what? This is what it is, man. Because you all over the place. You talking about contamination, everything. I'm talking about this dude's mental fucking makeup. I don't care about who tried to fight who, which I've already told you. Yes, Devin Haney did try to fight Teofimo Lopez. That shit goes back to before him and Ryan Garcia even came up. Devin Haney been trying to fight. Devin Haney was trying to fight all of them. I already told you where to find my work at, 3kingsboxing.com. Do you need me? You know what? Do you need me to spell it for you? Capital 3, Kings, Kings, boxing, boxing.com. Go there. You see several articles. Several. I've written over 2,000. You see several. But at the end of the day, when it comes to this dude's mental makeup, he's not. And he's not. And he does it. Like, what has he done? What has Ryan Garcia done? It's just, no, 3kingboxing.com is not a blog. That's, I know you're lying. You didn't look it up. You didn't look it up. 3kingboxing.com is not a blog. That tells me you didn't look it up. That right there tells me you didn't look it up. 3kingboxing.com, .com. It is a .com company. Blogs are not .com. Blogs are not .com. we are accredited .com company. Oh, man, dog. Oh, man, dog. It's not a blog. That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. It's not a blog. It is a .com. This shit is too easy. All right, man, look. I ain't got all day to play with this ball gurgler, man. But like I said, Ryan Garcia does not deserve this kind of support because he needs to rematch Rolando Romero. He needs to rematch Devin Haney. If not both of them, he needs to rematch one of them to prove this dude is not a fraud. This dude he needs to fight one of them to prove he's not a fraud. You wet the bed against Rolando Romero. You wet the bed against Gervonta Davis. And then, of course, you let the pressure get to you. That's why you did what you did when it came to Devin Haney. So Ryan Garcia shouldn't be out talking about anybody other than either Rolando Romero or Devin Haney because you need to rematch those guys. From a mental makeup, I will go on and say, from a mental makeup, this guy is not that guy. This guy is not a fighter that I don't see why anybody gets behind him and support him like that. As a man, until you show me you have a better, tougher mental makeup, I'm going to always refer to you as a beta male and question you and doubt you. Just like I'm going to question and I'm going to beta male question and doubt this motherfucker that's supporting this dude like this. I really am. See? Because that's what it has come to with boxing and boxing fans. Stop being somebody else's bitch. Stop being somebody else's fucking mouthpiece. Be honest about your fighter and call it down the fucking middle. Stop making excuses for your fighter. That's a grown ass man. Stop making excuses for that grown ass man. That's what boxing has come to. You got people making excuses for Canelo against Crawford. It's like after every fight, motherfuckers making excuses. You got motherfuckers making excuses for Tank Davis against Lamont Roach. What is it with motherfuckers making excuses for grown ass men? I don't understand that. When they fuck up, just like if you fuck up on your job, they go after you. When they fuck up, you got to call them on they fuck up. Boxing used to be about that. Boxing used to be about honesty. Boxing used to be about, hey, I do want to see my favorite fighter fight that best fighter over there. Marvelous Marvin Hagler is my favorite fighter of all fucking time. And I will always sit here and say that I will never forgive Marvin Hagler for not fighting the body snatcher Mike McCallum. He should have fought that dude. He should have fought him. I will always blame Marvin Hagler for not fighting him because I'm going to hold you accountable because I hold myself accountable. So when you give these fighters excuses, when you don't hold these fighters accountable, that tells me who you are as a fucking person. And this goes out to anybody listening. I don't give a fuck who it offends. I'm going to sit here and say, you don't have the mental makeup. Your mental makeup is just like this motherfucker you support. Because I don't support motherfuckers that show me that they're mentally weak. If you show me you're mentally weak, I'm not going to support you. Right? So I'm not going to support you if you show me you're mentally weak. I just can't do it. I'm not going to support you if you go out there, if you run your mouth and you go out there and you get your ass beat, I'm going to call you, hey, man, hey, dude, hey, you ran your fucking mouth and got your ass beat, bro. You got to take that. You got to take that. See, the problem is everybody nowadays equate money as if that's success. No, a legacy means you have accolades. You were the champion. You beat other champions. You fought other guys. You have to have accolades. Terrence Crawford has accolades. Usyk has accolades. Inoue has accolades. Canelo has accolades. Ryan Garcia, no accolades. I don't care about how much money somebody's willing to pay him. No accolades. So why am I celebrating the guy that has absolutely no accolades? None. He has no accolades. None. Even his win over Devin Haney got turned back because why? He tested positive. So that accolade is gone. No accolades. See? Oh, okay, that's it right there. Here it is. Nick said, legacy ain't shit. He said legacy ain't shit. That tells me, how old are you, dog? 17, 18, 19, just start watching boxing? Because legacy means everything. For you to sit here and say that right there, that just tells me what your mental makeup is. You ain't shit in person as a person. Because if you sit there and believe legacy ain't shit, that tells me you ain't shit. Because Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Joe Frazier, right? Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. These motherfuckers went around building a legacy. Terrence Crawford. They built legacies by why? Fighting guys, winning titles in other weight divisions, testing themselves. So if you're telling me legacy don't mean anything, that just tells me who you are. Because it's always, boxing has always been about legacy. We talk about Muhammad Ali because of that legacy. We talk about Floyd Mayweather because of his legacy. We talk about the Four Kings because of their legacy. No one would talk about Ryan Garcia when he leaves. Matter of fact, I'm trying to think, how many fighters fighting right now we talk about? Because they don't have a legacy. Legacy is the most important thing in boxing. Hell, it's the reason why you get into boxing. You're supposed to get in here to 1D Bill and make a legacy for yourself. If you're telling me legacy don't mean shit, then yeah. Then that just tells me who you are as a person. So that right there disqualifies you, and I'm done with you, bro. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. But you have officially been dismissed. you are dismissed, bro. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you coming, though. But you're dismissed. This mom just sat right here and said, legacy does not mean shit. Dismissed. Get that punk ass nigga out of here. Dismissed. Get him out. Oh my God. Legacy don't mean nothing. Bruh. Take Ryan Garcia balls out your mouth, man. Like, real talk. Take Ryan Garcia balls out your mouth, bro. But all right, man, let me get up out of here. I'll talk to you guys later, man. I'll holler. I appreciate the entertainment. Hey, you know what? Although I did block that dude, I like guys like that because the guys like that prove my point about why the sport is fucked up, right? Guys like him prove my point on why the sport is fucked up. Now I kind of actually hate that I blocked this fool. I wish I could bring him back. Bring him back. This dude sat here and said legacy don't mean shit. Like, what? Okay. But real talk, that's what's wrong with boxing. Guys like him that would defend the fighter to the bitter end and then make shit up. This dude would defend the fighter to the bitter fucking end. He defended Ryan Garcia to the bitter fucking end, regardless of what was being said. Be a fan, not a fanboy. Be your own fucking man and stop defending these motherfucking fighters. This for anybody out there listening. Be your own man. Stop defending these goddamn fighters. Like, real talk, man. Be your own goddamn man. Call it down the middle. Like, that's what boxing used to do. Motherfuckers used to go after these fighters for not doing that shit. That's what boxing used to be about. It used to be about wanting to see these guys do these things. And the reason why you was hard on them, because you know what? You're the fighter. Because if you allow a fighter to have the same mentality as the average everyday person, then what's the difference between them and the average everyday person? Because the average everyday person will not fight hard. The average in today's world, it's a bunch of beta male and pussified motherfuckers out here. The average everyday person will not look to go the extra mile. The average everyday person will look to give the fuck up. So as a fighter, you're supposed to be above that. If you're telling me we view these guys, any athlete, as a matter of fact, we view any athlete as the same as any average everyday person, well, that's what's fucking wrong with everything in sports. The whole purpose of you being that athlete is you're not like everybody else. The whole purpose of me having the mentality I have is because I'm not like everybody else. It's called being a fucking man. It's called being mentally fucking tough. That's what it's called. Man or fucking woman. It's called being mentally fucking tough. So at the end of the day, my man who I blocked, stop sucking on somebody else's balls. Be your own goddamn man. And that's the message for today, and I'm out.